Darkness. A streetlight buzzes. Footsteps slow. People pause. They feel it first as a weight. A child drops a toy. It thuds harder. Doors become heavy to open. Breath seems to press down on the chest. Something invisible has changed. The pull beneath our feet has grown. The world feels heavier. Twice as heavy. What would happen if gravity on Earth doubled overnight? Clear explanation of the scenario. Gravity is the force that holds us to the planet. It determines weight. It shapes motion. It sculpts mountains and seas. If gravity doubled, every object would weigh twice as much. A person of 70 kilograms would feel like 140. Lifting would take double the effort. Jumps would be half as high. Falls would strike with double the force. This thought experiment assumes the downward acceleration at Earth's surface increases from about 9.8 meters per square second to roughly 19.6 meters per square second. Mass does not change. But the force on that mass does. That single change radiates outward. It touches every living thing and every structure. Deep dive, the main change and its mechanics. Twice the gravity means twice the weight. Bones carry more load. Joints compress. Hearts pump against a stronger pull. Muscles strain. Fatigue sets in faster. Movement becomes work. Standing still becomes energy-consuming. Buildings face a new question: can the frame bear it? Every beam supports twice the dead load. Every floor must hold twice the furniture weight. Bridges sag under doubled weight. Cranes buckle. Elevators strain. Many structures were designed with safety margins. But those margins were never meant for a sudden doubling. Failures would concentrate at weak points. The air itself changes. Air pressure at the surface rises because the weight of the atmosphere increases. The air becomes denser. That helps birds and planes a little. Denser air gives more lift per wing area, but the lift required to carry doubled weight grows faster. Most birds cannot flap hard enough. Most aircraft cannot generate the extra lift without new engines, longer runways, or impossible speeds. Planes in flight would stall. Pilots would fight to maintain altitude. Many aircraft would crash. Water obeys the same rule. Hydrostatic pressure at depth would increase. The force pressing on dam walls would grow. Rivers would run with slightly different behavior. Tides still come and go, but the strain on coasts and docks doubles. At the planetary scale, the stresses inside Earth increase. Mountain foundations bear more weight. Faults that were stable could shift under new loads. The crust would respond. Earthquakes would likely rise in number and intensity as the ground rebalances. Comparison with scientific and natural context. We live in a narrow band of gravity that life evolved to fit. Birds evolved lightweight bones and powerful flight muscles for this gravity. Trees grew tall but flexible. Human skeletons and hearts adapted to a particular pull. Other planets show what different gravity feels like. Some worlds are lighter. Others pull harder. Life, if present, would be shaped accordingly. But Earth's biosphere is tuned to this planet's rhythm. A sudden shift breaks that rhythm. History records many abrupt environmental shocks, meteor impacts, volcanic winters, ice ages. Each reshaped ecosystems. A jump in gravity would be of a different order. It would be physics itself changing the rules we relied on. Cause and effect, step by step, minute year century. Minute 1. People notice. Many drop to the ground simply because muscles fail. Streets fill with collapsed crowds. Immediate injuries happen from falls and from being unable to hold objects. Hour 1. Transportation collapses. Cars struggle to accelerate. Many engines overheats as they labor harder. Buses and trucks fail with overloaded suspensions. Airports report planes unable to climb. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Day 1. Buildings designed near their limits begin to show damage. Older bridges sag or break. Rooftop equipment and water tanks crush structures below. Power lines snap under double tension. Fires spread where infrastructure fails. Week 1. Agriculture falters. Farm machinery strains. Harvest yields drop. Livestock suffers, animals unable to support their own weight collapse. Food supply lines are interrupted. Panic buying and rationing begin. Month 1. Economies grind. Industry that relied on precision and speed fails to adapt quickly. Factories must rebuild machinery to handle heavier loads. Shipping becomes slower and far more expensive. Global trade contracts. Year 1. Ecosystems shift. Bird populations collapse in many regions. Insects that rely on flight decline. Trees that cannot support heavier branches break more often. Soil compaction increases under heavier weight, changing water infiltration and plant growth. Species that cannot cope face rapid decline. Years 5-10. Human society reorganizes. Architecture changes. Buildings are shorter and sturdier. Vehicles are redesigned with higher power-to-weight ratios. Air travel becomes rarer and far more regulated. Militaries rewrite doctrine, armored vehicles and infantry face new physical limits. Cities become denser and more compact. Decades, centuries. If humanity endures, adaptation occurs, biologically for some species, technologically for humans. We develop new materials, new machines, and new urban forms. Perhaps we breed or engineer humans better able to withstand higher loads. Or perhaps populations shrink and concentrate where survival is easiest. The map of habitability shifts. Human body, health and everyday life. The heart works harder. Blood pools in the legs. Standing long becomes dangerous. Pregnancies become riskier under increased load. Bone fractures increase. Recovery is slower. Hospitals fill with crush injuries and collapsed lungs from heavier thoracic pressure during trauma. Exercise is transformed. Running looks different. Jumping is nearly impossible. Sports vanish or mutate into new forms. Children grow up under heavier pull and their bodies develop differently, if society supports long-term survival. Technology, transport and space. Spaceflight becomes costlier. Getting to orbit requires more energy. Escape velocity scales with the square root of gravitational acceleration. In practical terms, rockets need more fuel for the climb. Satellites in low orbit would fall unless they speed up to meet the new balance. Many would re-enter. Our access to space would shrink. The moon and beyond would grow more distant in human terms. Bigger picture, reflection. Doubling gravity is not just a physical shock. It is a cultural one. It redefines who we are and how we live. The comforts we took for granted come with design choices tuned for one gravity. Those choices reveal a fragility we rarely see. This scenario reveals a truth: human society is built on a set of delicate balances. We engineer with them in mind. We farm with them. We travel, build, and dream with them. Change the pull beneath our feet. The scaffolding creaks. Some things fall. Some things adapt. Some things die. If gravity doubled overnight, we would face loss, ingenuity, and painful reinvention. We would learn to build anew, move smarter, and think smaller. We would ask hard questions about trade-offs and survival. But the most haunting question remains: if a single invisible force could alter our world so profoundly, what else might change us without warning? Next time, we will ask another impossible question. What if gravity slowly vanished, day by day, until nothing held us down?